witches. It's the Cancer full moon and we just had our ceremony, and what we were doing was checking in with how we were feeling about everything, the transition into the new 9 year from an 8 year, which was life force energy, which is the energy of making things happen and getting all the bits and bobs together, and like getting the lead and getting the mercury and getting the fire going. And then 9 is the year of purification, of the cleansing of all the utensils. And then 10, which is next year, is the year of doing the alchemy and doing the spell and the magic, and for the lead to turn to gold. So in terms of ebb and flow, this is the kind of passive. It's the gentle breathing in and not relaxing. You've got to do the work, but it's the doing the work. It's doing the behind the scenes work for the big thing to happen when you go out into the world next year with whatever it is you're doing. And as I was saying to people, like, the last time we had a 9 year was 2016. It's the year of mastery, about becoming a master of something. And like, that was the beginning of my career in theatre. And I did do my first one woman show in Edinburgh in August. So it did begin, but I did all the legwork of script writing and rehearsing and fundraising and booking the show in Edinburgh and all the rest of it. I did all of that in like January, February, March, April, May, you know, all the way to August. Did the show in August, and then off the back of that was then able to make build a tour in spring, which then was the beginning of my career as a theatre performer on my own, of my own right. And so that's what I mean. Like, it's like you're not doing anything, but it's kind of doing the behind the scenes preparation work for the big thing to then happen the next year. So very exciting year to become a master of something. Also a year for purification. So if you're ever thinking of giving up drinking, or like I've decided to have a dry year. I'm not saying I'm giving up forever necessarily. I might decide at the end of it that I want to, but yeah, I'm going to do a dry year, and it's the year for it. And I just want to really concentrate and focus. And the other thing is to do everything with excellence as a spiritual practice, even the stuff that your ego really doesn't want to do. So cleaning and horrible jobs and tasks that you're kind of complaining and huffy about, doing them with excellence. And both that and cutting out social media or just all the things that I've done in the last week. It's only been a week, like, you know, nearly 2 weeks now. I feel so much better. I feel clearer, I feel energized, I feel focused. It's really working. So I can feel the energy of this year. I feel completely different to how I did last year, which was very sluggish and unhealthy, and overwhelmed and burnt out. Last year was a year for easy burnout, because life force energy is a lot. So, you know, it was easy to get burnt out. But we've just been taking stones and feeling into the things that give us fear, the fears that we have, and then we wash them tenderly, like mothers washing babies' feet in the water, and then washed away the fears, and then held on to them and felt into what we're grateful for, like the things that we're grateful for. So for example, I have a lot of fear around money, not having enough money, but also like lots of negative stories around money. I feel like it was my greatest, deepest wound, and it's the reason why my family split up when I was younger. And so I felt into that and then washed that in the water. And then for the gratitude, I felt into how grateful I am that I have a roof over my head and I have clothes, and I always have enough to live. It's not like enough to do all the fabulous things that I'd love to do, but I have enough money to eat, you know, and there are a lot of people that don't in the world. So I'm grateful for what I do have. So it's just things like that, like feeling into the things that you're grateful for. The more grateful you are about things, the less fearful you are. So whenever you're meeting a fear, it's like, how can you turn that into something that you're grateful for? And then these stones, I'm going to either draw sigils on and use them as talismans, because the 9 years is very much about metaphor and symbolism. And so any kind of mood boards or symbols, sigils, things like that are going to be really potent this time of year. Dream work, meditation, all of that kind of stuff. This is the year for it. Creativity, poetry, drawing, that kind of thing. And/or take the stones and put them in the sea or in a river, so that the water can help support washing your fears away and taking them away to the universe. In fact, actually one of the lovely people on the not on the pilgrimage. We've just done a ceremony, not a pilgrimage. Thomas, who's a druid, was saying the Swedish word for enlightenment is uploosening, and he said what we just did with washing the stones and sending our our grimy, gritty bits up to the cosmos, back to the cosmos, was uploosening, and that the water was washing away the things that were horrible, sticky inside of us, that it was uploosening, which was really lovely. So I'm going to do a reading, see what the Cancer full moon has to say about what's going on. There's a lot going on in the world. It's pretty crazy, which you might be picking up on. And yeah, there's a lot of chance of, well, it's the year of big things. Big things are going to happen this year. The big planets are all changing for the first time in many years. But we have abundance, which is really nice. So, rune of abundance to begin with. That is what the gratitude thing's all about. So writing gratitude lists in the morning. Gratitude lists are going to be really helpful for if you're feeling stuck or anything at any point. It's a really good symbolic thing to do. And it is a new dawn physically. It's literally a new dawn. All the big planets are changing signs for the first time in many years. So some of them first time in 20 years, some of them the first time in 14 years. And it means that like the bigger picture is shifting. The nodes have just changed as well, which they do every like year and a half. It's a lot. There's a lot of big shifting and changing happening. So the physical world is a new dawn, quite literally. There's a spiritual message, which I would say is the message that's coming through from the astrology, and so this is in communication. We've gone into the age of Aquarius with Pluto moving. So to look for the signs, especially in this 9 year, is all about signs and symbolism. So following the signs, following your intuition, the feeling you've got that that's the right thing to do, and then something happens and you're like, yeah, that was a sign. Trust it, follow that. The universe is literally trying to support you to be your highest self, to live your life purpose, to live your higher purpose. It's all trying to support you. The abundance is there, so just trust it and trust in it, even with everything that's going on in the world. More so, it's like an act of defiance. Cancer is all about the homestead. So this is pretty much the rune of Cancer. It's the rune of, if you imagine that like diamond is the home, and then the bits coming out the bottom, it's like the courtyard outside. So it's like it's the homestead, it's your community, it's your family, and this is in emotions. And Mars is retrograde and is in opposition. I mean, it's in what's the word? My brain, it's late. Detriment in Cancer, and it's in retrograde in Cancer. So it's a very sticky, icky moment. You possibly are having big family things come up, difficult conversations. The key moments for this is today, tomorrow, and the next day, and then it will start moving again. So there's like a kind of crunch moment happening with the moon, and then it's going to start moving again. And Jupiter is going to come in and make it easier, coming in conjunct with Venus on Friday. So there's going to be the space to have nice conversations on Friday, and then Venus goes conjunct with Saturn on Saturday, which is about having the more difficult conversations, but they're all good conversations to have. So if you want any help or support with anything that's going on with family stuff, or it's also to do with like community and children, like it could be something to do with school. All of these things are, you might be having to have difficult conversations, but Friday's like the yummy yum, and then Saturday's the should we sit down and chat about what's been going on thing. So, and then be brave, and this is in the water, which is the Cancer element that we've been working with. Is be brave. This is the rune of the horse. So it's like, just get your head down, do the work, and just do it. Put one foot in front of the other. It might feel like an impossible task, and it might feel just too big, too much, but it's like, be brave, put one hoof in front of the other, and just keep going, and you'll work your way through. So let's see what the cards are all saying. got success, satiety, and disappointment. So success is this big bright card here. And this is to do with like, what are the things that you like? Success, satiety, and disappointment. It feels like what that is saying is like, again, it's the fear and the gratitude. But it's like, what are the things that you dream of doing? Like, what would you like to succeed in and for it to come into fruition next year? So I'd like to create a writing career. So my last 9 year was the theatre career. I'd like to shift into a writing career now, because I live on a rock and it's a very beautiful, inspiring, magical, natural place. Great place to be a writer, terrible place to be a theatre maker because there's no one here. So it would be brilliant to be able to shift my career in that way. That for me would be success. And to be satiated in that would be to just be a little bit famous, was something we were talking about in Creation Hibernation tonight. Don't want to be so famous that you get recognised that it ruins your life. And also that's also very unlikely to happen. If you're not worrying about that or aiming for that, it's like how to just be successful enough that I can pay my bills and I can go on holiday. That would be nice, because I can't afford to do that anymore. I can't afford to get my teeth done at the dentist. I can't afford to buy new clothes. Like, you know, I can't afford stuff. So that would be nice. For me to be satiated, it would just be to have enough money to kind of live a normal life again, back like we used to do before everything went absolutely tits up. So that for me is, I only need to be that successful. I don't want any more than that. And disappointment is like, where are you? Don't be too attached to the outcomes. Like, don't set yourself up for disappointment. If it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. It'll be annoying, but other thing is trusting that if it doesn't happen, like the work that you put in this year, because you can, it's about not making a mountain out of a molehill. And you could easily, like, the sabotage fairy could mess you up this year. So, because it's just before the crunch point, and the sabotage fairy always comes in just before the crunch point. So always, so you're just about to do the thing, it's just about to happen, and then something, like someone quits, someone, like, you fall out, like that happens. If it does happen and you do get disappointed, it's trusting that it's because something else is going to happen. It might just be that this is a journey and a lesson that you need to go through, because next time you'll do instead. So trust the journey, trust the process, and go with the flow and trust that it's all as it should be. So, little nudge from the goddess. Let's see which direction she's nudging us in. Oh, different set of cards. What I thought they were going to be. That's mixed up. There we go. Edgewalker. So the Edgewalker is very much the Aquarius energy that we're in. It's like, the mainstream world right now is bullshit, and don't just switch off from the internet. Be the mad person in the forest. Like, just don't engage with the narrative that's going on out there, because it's not helpful and it's not healthy. So yeah, be an Edgewalker, be a weirdo. I'm absolutely a fucking weirdo on this island, and it's funny because I lived in Brighton for so long. I'm so used to, I had 20 years of not being a weirdo and living amongst weirdos, and now I'm a weirdo again. But I was a weirdo up until 18, living in Essex, and then spent 20 years with weirdos, and now I'm a weirdo again. And I'm like, do you know what? I don't care. I know that there's a whole city of weirdos over there that I'm part of that don't think I'm that weird. I'm fucking normal in that world, and I'm not weird just because I wear weird clothes and do things that I love doing. That's not weird. That's just fucking interesting and fun. And you know, you might as well. You're gonna be dead soon. Might as well do something fucking. Can't polish a turd, but you can roll it in glitter. So gonna roll it in glitter and just have a good time and not worry about it. And you know, I don't care. Just don't care. So be an Edgewalker, right? write the script however you want it to be. You don't have to fit into any systems that believe, and be a priestess. So make everything you do an act of worship. Make everything you do sacred. This is my life, is an act of worship. It's absolutely sacred and divine, and it means that life feels way more worth living and important and magical and juicy and fun. So I've got my new deck now, the Self Sorcery. Got this for Christmas. So this is another little goddess nudge. I'm totally getting to know this deck, so seeing what this one's all about. Be discerning. So this keeps coming up for me with the runes. I keep pulling necessity, which is about only doing what's necessary rather than saying yes to everything, especially in January, February. I'm all about saying no in January and February, and letting my oh, there it just appeared. Letting my creation hibernation lead the way. That's what I care about at this time of year. Everything else can get lost. Be discerning. 46. Slightly, it's not alphabetical, this one. Transmission. What stays, what goes? How do you decide? You discern. Take a breath. You take in as many as you need to come into your body, and trust what it is that you know, see, feel, and intuit. It's deeper than what you've been told and sold, and that's how you know it's real and true, and you let yourself discern. So yeah, absolutely, that's exactly how I feel. I've cut out a load of things. It's so exciting. I'm very excited about it, and just chopped a load of stuff out that I didn't need to be doing anymore, or was taking up way too much time and energy. And I feel so good for it. It's brilliant. And I'm just, all my weekends are free for the whole of the next 2 months. Yeah, great. So, breaking habits. And Artemis protection there as well. I pull this one a lot, actually. She's she's a broken lady, but it's cool because where she's broken, she lets in the light. And it's funny because I literally just wrote that. I wrote that like in my book a couple of days ago. No, yesterday. How do you pronounce it? Akildandeshvari is one of the various forms of the Hindu goddess Adi Pashtaki, and is known as the never not broken goddess. She is often depicted broken into shards, as if one had dropped a sheet of glass. However, these breaks do not hinder nor bring her sorrow. Instead, they are the essence of her power. Akildandeshvari uses this power to help her followers remove themselves from toxic situations and unhealthy routines, purification. When broken down into its constituent parts, akin to the goddess herself, her name can be translated as Supreme Goddess who rules the universe. I just cannot stress how much purification, being clean, and just demons could get into you easily this year. The veil is thinner this year. We're susceptible this year. So be discerning about what you let in and what you bring into your body, fill your mind with, the energies of people that you spend time with. Yeah, only do what's necessary and just get yourself and become a master, ready for whatever it is we go and do with the world. But yeah, don't believe the hype, don't believe the bullshit that's going on out there, and or just don't engage with it. And we write the script, we create or be created, so create it yourself. So thank you, and happy full moon in Cancer. I'll see you then on.